Is that gasoline I smell? Hey, what are you doing? Huh? What do you want? You trying to start something here? So stay out of my way. Alright, I'm trying to start something here. Stay out of my way, would you? Arson, eh? You're not the victim of the fire calamity, you're the catalyst.
Back to it.
Here we go.
Their Alzheimer's stopped progressing entirely. The most shocking thing is that even brain cells which had lost function were able to recover. As one researcher put it, it's as though the brain turns on a backup generator. If they can bring about similar effects in humans,
They'll have a cure for Alzheimer's.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Judgment. So, yeah, 89 talk.
research. But in truth, he only put his name on the paper to lend it credibility. The key researcher was someone else entirely. A guy you know too, man by the name of Shono.
So the one I want. It's Shono, huh? So you're saying Shono's the creator of 89?
Seems so. The paper would never have gained such worldwide traction without Kido-san, though. They needed a leading expert to rubber stamp the research and make it seem more official. That kind of thing is pretty common, though. Not really a cause for concern.
Shono, what's your role in all of this?
Okay. So we just have to go back to the office. I'm going the wrong way. Man, I really need, like, more money, because there's a thing about buying all those drone parts, and it's like, dude, how am I supposed to do this? I mean, I'm not platinuming the game, like, I know that, but still.
Yo, welcome back.
Hey there, Yagami-san.
Gang's all here, huh?
How did things go with Hattori-san? Did you learn anything useful?
Yeah, I guess.
Wait, are you saying there isn't actually anything up with 89?
That's what Hattori said, yeah.
This is the first time I'm hearing about Kido not really being involved, though. It's possible Shono's hiding the truth from even him.
Maybe. But first, one term in particular stuck with me from my chat with Hattori-san.
Which is?
Human experimentation.
Go on.
Apparently, 89 is just about ready to be tested on real human subjects.
Well, that's gross. Side effects include bloating, blindness, and death, right?
Knock it off.
Sorry. What's bothering you about that, Yagami-san?
Well, it's just... I've just been thinking... What if all these murders were secretly experimental trials for 89?
You're serious?
If Shono's the one behind all this...
What? You think this guy Shono went out, hired an assassin, and started killing people?
Guess it's a bit of a stretch, huh?
Even if these people were test cases, why would Shono have to murder them? This is a dementia drug, not some kind of chemical weapon.
No, but what if it really did have some kind of crazy side effects, though? Like, they didn't want to kill the people, but they ended up dying anyways.
It was perfectly fine when they tested it on mice, though. If it ended up killing someone, then... Wait a sec.
Yeah, wait a sec is right. We're on the same page here.
What if 89 was completely harmless to mice, but lethal when introduced into the human body?
If that was the case, they'd need to perform a ton of experiments to make sure it was fixed.
Okay, so I can see, hold on, I can see 89 probably could kill the human. It could maybe make their eyes blow up. And one of two things happens here. They knew this happened, and so they already got rid of the first body. So then they hired the mole to kill them all. To take out their eyes, because that's how they're gonna die. Their eyes are just probably gonna fucking explode. So they have the mole kill them. Or they do die somewhere. Like, they're going to die, but the mole either kills them beforehand, or the mole is still a part of this no matter what. I don't know.
Which is why they killed all those Kyorei guys.
If Shono needed to silence those Yakuza, he might have resorted to using the mole.
Back it up. If they're testing a drug, wouldn't they want to use it on an actual patient? I mean, it's not like those Kyorei guys all had Alzheimer's or anything.
That's true.
Actually, it says here that they test new drugs on healthy humans as well. They're the control group to make sure the drug is safe.
Yeah, eventually. It wouldn't make any damn sense for him to start on anyone but real patients, though.
But
Just give it a rest. Try taking this seriously for once.
We are taking this seriously.
Says the dumbass kid who keeps spouting tinfoil hat shit about goddamn human experiments.
The only dumbass here is the guy who can't consider all the possible options.
Oh, is that right? Next you're gonna tell me they experiment on old man Waku too. Fucking idiots.
Who?
What?
That incident 3 years ago at the ADDC. The guy who died, Wakusan. Didn't he have Alzheimer's?
Hey, I think you're onto something.
Huh?
think about it, Kaito-san. Waku-san was an Alzheimer's patient at the center. We know for a fact that Okubo didn't kill him, but they never tracked the real murderer down.
What if the motivation for that murder was a human experiment for 89?
Alright, cool your fucking jets. That happened 3 years ago. 89 didn't even exist back then.
True, it was only announced last year.
Yeah, just because it was announced last year doesn't mean it wasn't in development. I mean, come on, that's like video games. Right now, I could have been waiting for I'm waiting for God Eater 4. And as far as I know, it's not even being made. But until they say it's being made, then I know it's being made. But it could have been in development for years now. Just like Red Dead Redemption 2 was in development for 11 years, and we didn't know it was coming out until like 2 years before it came out, because they announced it. And like we didn't even know GTA 6 was being made until there was leaks about it.
But all the research that went into that paper would have reached way further back.
Huh? Wait, are we really onto something?
It's hard to say for sure, but it's worth looking into at the very least.
If 89's really what killed Wakusan 3 years ago, the ADDC's finished. Shit would be the scandal of the century.
You know, I'm starting to see things a little clearer now.
I have a few more thoughts about this whole human experimentation theory. Mind if we continue?
I mean, I don't even know why you stopped.
Sure, let's do it.
Okay, so... let's say Shono did experiment on Waku-san. Why would he do that? They normally do a lot more to ensure a drug is safe before it enters clinical trials. What was his motive for testing it then?
Let me think. Why would Shono have broken protocol and experimented on Waku?
Maybe he wanted to try his groundbreaking new drug on a real live human as soon as possible. If it worked, he'd have the cure. And he'd have it without dealing with all the red tape these things go through. Would have saved him years.
That's possible. I guess Shono was surrounded by dementia patients. One little test wouldn't be a big deal, and if it succeeded, his drug would save the world. If it meant curing Alzheimer's sooner, he might have been okay accepting the risk.
But instead of doing what it was meant to do, 89 had a horrible side effect. Death. The more I think about it, the more it feels like this is how it all went down.
It's starting to make sense.
But now, even though he knows the risks, he's still experimenting and using the mole to do it. I know this is all just a theory, but the pieces all seem to fit together.
Going down that path, Yagami-san, that means Okubo really was innocent, yeah? But he murdered his girlfriend right after. I mean, that's why he's on death row.
Quit it, Sugiura. We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were gonna talk. I better have gotten some SP for that part.
So, to summarize our theory so far. It all started 3 years ago when Shono accidentally killed a patient during an AD9 test. But those tests are still ongoing. That's why Hamura had all those Kyorei guys killed.
But wait, how would a guy like Shono get wrapped up with Yakuza and assassins? Your run-of-the-mill researcher wouldn't have the cash or connections for that shit.
But what if someone close to him did?
Someone Shono knows who's got Yakuza ties? The hell could that be?
Well, I mean...
Shigeru Kajihira, chairman of the Kajihira Group.
I'm not so sure about that, Yagami-san.
What do you mean?
Think about it. The murdered Kyorei Yakuza are Kajihira's men. Besides, there's no evidence of any connection between him and Shono.
Damn.
I guess you have a
I
point
can't
there.
believe it.
Well, we can rule Kajihira out. Who is Shono's go-between then?
The Minister of Health, Naohisa Kazumi.
You think an active cabinet member is out hooking Shono up with Yakuza? Seriously?
I suppose the minister would have enough power. But I'm not sure he has the motive. Especially not for such a risky move.
Who else do we have then?
Someone who could get Hamura and Shono in touch. Huh.
Ryusuke Kido, director of the ADDC.
Oh, I see what you mean. Kido would have access to ADDC funding. There's even been talk of him having ties to the Yakuza somehow, right? I think you've cracked it, Yagami-san. It had to be Kido.
I don't know if that's really true.
Why?
Think back to the '89 press conference. You remember the look on Kido's face? He was so proud. Innocent, even.
What? I'm just... Huh? Oh, no, wait, we're talking about Kido. Got so confused. Like, if we were gonna talk about Shono, I was gonna be like, what?
He knew about all this human experiment shit? No way he'd look like that.
Kid's got a point.
Then maybe he was only told about the experiments after the conference took place. That would still make sense, right? First, Shono gets Kido to sign off on the '89 paper and publicly gives him all the credit. Thrilled about the possibilities, Kido proudly presents the research at that press conference. There's no turning back after that, even if he found out about the experiments. That's probably how Shono got Kido on his side. He then used Kido's funding and connections to bring in Hamura and the Mole. feels like all the pieces are falling into place.
That means Kito's not actually the one in charge.
Right. Shono is behind everything.
Let's say you're right. When did Shono start using this guy? When was the mole's first murder?
The first time Shono actually used an assassin would have to be...
Probably Hashki's death 6 months ago.
And why do you say that?
Hashki inching closer to the truth about 89 was a serious problem for Shono. But as we know, Shono was in a taxi at the time of the beating. Meaning someone else must have been responsible for Hashki's death.
The man in the black raincoat. He's the mole?
Yeah, only the best of the best assassins would have the skill to do what they did to Hashki.
Can't argue with that.
Who knows how close Hashki was to finding out about the human experimentation before he died.
Yeah, and if he had, that would have been the end of the line for Shono. Seems like a plausible motive to me.
So what, everything just makes sense? I don't know.
Looks like Sugiura still isn't totally on board.
If you have something to say it.
I mean, this is still just a theory, right? It all sounds almost too convenient.
What do you mean?
If Shono killed Wakusan at the ADDC 3 years ago, then Okubo, the primary suspect in the case, would be totally in the clear.
Yep. Already proved that in court, remember?
But Okubo, he killed his girlfriend right after. He stabbed her over and over. Even set the place on fire. Reeked of booze, too, even though he was supposed to be dry. Defend him all you want. The guy's a murderer. That's why the whole thing was such a big deal. Everyone realized the court made a mistake. It took the death of an innocent girl for them to realize that Okubo probably did it after all. Yet here you are, claiming the court got it right. Claiming Okubo's innocent. But you just don't want to feel responsible for Emi Terasawa's death. That's it, isn't it?
Enough, Sugiura! You're way out of line, and you don't know shit!
Look, I know I get swept up in my emotions pretty easily sometimes. All the same, I'm trying to be fair here.
Are you?
So if we want to treat Yagami-san's theory like it's the truth, then we'll have to figure out whether or not Okubo is innocent. If he actually killed Wakusan.
And how are you suggesting we do that?
It's simple. We just go to Okubo and ask if he did it.
You want to talk to him face to face? Meeting with a death row inmate isn't that easy.
A lawyer like you should have no problem setting that up, right?
Shinpei Okubo is still in jail. I could meet him, but...
He can't stand me, though. From day one, Okubo insisted he was innocent, that he didn't kill Emi. But I abandoned him. Told him he'd be better off just giving up.
Fine. But that's a pretty weak excuse for not going to talk to him now. If you really want to pursue this case, you don't have a choice, Yagami-san.
Well?
Hoshino-kun,
Yes?
let's go talk to Okubo. Think you can arrange that for me?
I can try. Let me get in touch with the prison.
Thanks. I'll be at Gendis if you want to find me. Looking over the old case files.
All right.
This seems like the talking chapter.
I'll let you know once I've made the arrangements to get you in to see him.
Guess I was pretty harsh earlier. Sorry about that.
Wonder what his connection is to Emi.
Going to see Okubo, huh? Won't be easy for you, but you can do it, man.
Sugiura's got some type of connection to Emmy. Not like I could guess it. Okay, so, anything different pop up on the map during that conversation? No. How much SP did I get just from that whole section? 1,000, almost 2,000. Okay. Maybe, just maybe, I could get this before Chapter 12. But if I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think I'm getting boost combo speed till Chapter 12. Which kind of blows.
Guess we're doing this.
It's a lot of Gotta make sure I pay attention to the Crane Hatchling trophy, because then I'm gonna need to focus Tiger style for a while. No.
What a waste.
The grenade just still didn't go off. The grenade just kind of stopped. I'm sure Mr. Try and Hit Me would be an ally that would help me in battles. But I'm not exactly, able to get him as an ally right now. It'd be funny if Ryan and Mr. Try and Hit Me both joined in. Still, even though with my love for Judgment so far, and how I haven't exactly gotten bored of it, I still don't think I would be able to go back to a Yakuza game and love it as much as I've been loving Judgment.
Oh, Yagami. You need something?
Mind if I look over a case file? The ADDC one from 3 years ago. I'm seeing Okubo soon.
Huh? What do you mean you're seeing Okubo?
Hold on. I'll go pull the documents up.
Thanks, Ari-san.
How's it going, Yagami-san?
Oh, not bad. What do you have there?
The files for Emi Terasawa's case. I thought they might be useful too.
Well,
Yagami-san, I think you should look them over if you're going to talk to Okubo. If you really don't need them, just leave them here. I'll put everything back later.
Not really. I thought you would actually say something. I'll come back later. Yeah, this definitely feels like the talking chapter. Yakuza usually has like one just nothing but dialogue chapter if you're not running around the streets screwing around.
Emi Terasawa, 26 years old at time of death. December 2nd, 2015, about 11 p.m. Her body is found on the second floor of a burnt-out apartment building. 15 stab wounds to the chest, presumably inflicted while she was still alive. Cause of death? Blood loss. No ash in her lungs, so she didn't inhale any smoke. Emi died before the fire started. Shinpei Okubo, the victim's boyfriend and roommate, was found at the scene and arrested. Murder weapon is thought to be a kitchen knife. It was covered in Okubo's prints. Okubo was wasted out of his mind when firefighters arrived at the apartment.
Okubo-san is not a violent person. And he hasn't even had a drink in over 6 years. Not a single drop since the incident.
But Okubo claims he doesn't remember ever drinking, that he woke up surrounded by flames. He's pleaded innocence from day one.
Did I say before that 89 probably could also make someone a killer? I think I said that.
Do you really have to do this? Go see Okubo, I mean.
Yeah, looks like I do.
But why?
I need to know if he was really innocent. If he killed Waku-san 3 years ago. I'm going to find the truth, Kenta-sensei.
What? In just one little prison chat?
Well, either way, I never felt like I closed the book on this. I should have done this years ago. I mean, yeah, I defended him in court. But we didn't have anything definitive to prove his innocence. The only thing the ruling said was that they couldn't conclusively prove his guilt. Meaning for the public at large, he as good as did it. Okubo got laid off from his job, and had his personal details smeared all over the internet.
Yeah.
The guy barely even went outside. Couldn't sleep at night without his pills. But I didn't ask him about any of that. Didn't really care either. Until one day, Okubo gave up his years of sobriety, started drinking, stabbed his girlfriend to death.
And what? You think that's your fault?
Why did Shinpei Okubo kill Emi Terasawa? If it's anyone's fault.
I helped set a murderer loose on the world. In other words, Emi died because of me.
I'm not gonna let you do this to yourself. Do you remember? Your dad's last case must have been almost 20 years ago. Do you, Yagami?
Yeah. No way I could forget.
The defendant in that case raped and murdered a 15-year-old girl. At least that's what they said he did. Everyone in the damn country thought that guy deserved to get executed. No thoughts of innocence, except from your dad. You know how it all went down after that. He gave the prosecution what for. Your dad never compromised his ideals, no matter what. He said a lawyer's job isn't discovering the truth, or even knowing it. It's proving the prosecution doesn't have enough evidence to convict. Do you understand? That's how he saw the defense's role. It takes some real guts to say that. That's why you looked up to him. And you would have never become an attorney without his influence.
In the beginning, sure I did. But you know, a lot happened afterward. With my dad, and with me too.
Yeah.
It's possible the defendant actually was guilty. Raped the girl, killed her in cold blood. He disappeared almost immediately after the trial. So, all of the hatred, all of the anger people felt was thrown onto my dad. Not long after, he and my mom were killed by the victim's father.
Even so, I don't think your old man did anything wrong. Our job's showing that the prosecution doesn't have enough evidence, not finding the truth. And when you defended Okubo the first time around, that's exactly what you did. Listen to me, Yagami. You didn't do anything wrong.
Sure, I get what you're saying. But a girl burned to death because I was good at my job. Ever think about how that feels?
What?
It's easy to sit back and tell me I did nothing wrong, but put yourself in my shoes. Could you say you did the right thing?
That's enough! How long are you gonna let this dominate your life?
For as long as I live. Yagami speaking.
Hey, it's Hoshino. I've arranged our chat with Okubo. Meet me at the taxi stand on West Shichibuku Street. I'm on my way there now.
Got it. Thanks. I appreciate the concern.
I've said all I wanted to say. It's fine. I half knew you weren't gonna listen anyway.
Genda-sensei.
Hmm?
You and I both saw what happens when you don't pursue the truth. I can't let that go. I won't.
Over here, Yagami-san.
どちらまで行かれる？それでは出発。
Long time no see. Yagami-sensei.
Yeah. It's been a while.
I apologize. I've been alone all this time. Talking is...
Don't worry.